Yeah.
I say I tried to help it, put it on my
Between
Facebook.
us and another house in Live Rock, and I think I put enough into their head about the fact that they don't want to be by the train track and the dump
And the substation.
and the substation.
Money.
But it's house same price, right? But because it's by all of those things, you can get a house with the walkout basement and a lot of upgrades
Because
for the same price, but it's back to the train by the dump and the substation. I personally would not want to. My counsel to them was, well, if you're planning on living here for 10 years, then I wouldn't worry about the resale value. I said, but if you're only gonna live here for the next 2 to 4 years, I said, then I would be very worried about the resale value. So we'll see what they say.
Still, yeah, even in 10 years though, it's still gonna ding a little bit, you think,
Still not, but I just would be less worried
yeah.
if I'm gonna live in it for that long, you know. One pass, total, 3 pass, basement. These particularly.
Today is?
Yeah, it's like I have jet lag.
Oh,
Couldn't go to sleep last night because of the time change, and then I couldn't get up this morning because of the time change.
you know, it doesn't normally bother me. And I think it's because I pop around different time zones so much that it doesn't seem to get me. So.
Went up for a good wreck this morning for the time change, saying this is the most dangerous day to drive
Really?
as the time changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More
Are you
wrecks.
too tired?
Oh my gosh, they want to do this house, he wants 25 grand in earnest money. Okay.
Well, is it worth it?
Don't know yet.
Don't know yet, haven't seen the inside.
Wow, where is everybody? It's 10:01.
Just 3 of us.
Coffee talk was pretty sparse,
Yeah,
I wonder why.
I'm telling you, time change. People are not,
Like, what did I do? Make everybody mad that nobody's coming to coaching?
And they have spring break this week instead of next week, maybe.
yeah, phones on it.
Jones is this week, maybe other people's have.
Well, it goes depending on. Spring break does a lot of crazy stuff. But not everyone in our coaching programs impacted by spring break.
I know.
Like, there's probably more that aren't than are.
Are we doing the regional call rate?
Yeah, that's at 11,
That's at 11.
but combined coach, I don't know.
I thought we don't now. I don't.
No, but here we go. All right, so I would love to have the cameras on. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time to wake up. I really just want to start texting everybody and go, coaching started, where are you?
Go ahead, go for it.
I think I am, at
And
least a
who we
few. Who are we missing?
Laura, Sherry.
Oh, yeah,
Everyone.
I know, but I can't get everybody in. My time.
What's her face's house is pending. Emily,
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah, I mean,
It was pretty.
it was pretty, it has a big
Nice.
lot.
Yeah, huge lot.
All
But good.
right, so while I am texting people going, where are you? Why don't y'all start with telling me some good news? What do we got going on?
I think we picked up 2 buyers over the weekend.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So again, if you're not working open houses, you are missing opportunities. Because everybody that came through this weekend was unrepresented. Everybody.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's unusual. We've
Yeah.
never seen that. I mean, in 9 years,
What
that's
was
something new.
interesting, so We heard this conversation more than once, that people moved here during COVID from somewhere else to try out Colorado, and they've been renting, and now they're ready to buy because now they want to stay in Colorado. I heard that conversation
More
at
than
least twice.
Really?
One open house because they were renting downtown, and now they've decided they want to be out closer to the mountains, Boulder, Golden, all this kind of stuff. And Arvada makes the most sense, price wise. So that was interesting.
That's very interesting.
And both had moved from the East Coast.
One's coming in from where I lived in
Virginia.
Virginia and one's coming in from North
North Carolina.
Carolina.
So it was interesting hearing where they're coming from. and
Right.
why.
Exactly. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Better.
Okay, I'm having all kinds of computer problems this morning.
Computers don't like daylight savings either.
Well, I can't get it to hit.
Spring.
But I love when the sun sheds later,
I know.
you know, I just.
Okay,
need-
bear with me, Zoomers. I may have to relaunch this.
And every year you absorb it.
Mhm.
You
We
do.
just need to stop doing it. We don't need it anymore. Like, we don't need to flip back and forth.
Doesn't one of your competitors, don't they have like a bill coming out?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. If you looked at, they did a synopsis of all of the times where it's tried to be gotten rid of, and it just ends up being like ridiculous and a lot of people get rid of, but Arizona is like the only state, I think, that doesn't change. But for some reason or another, there has to be like a certain number of states and a certain number of votes and a certain number of this, and then somebody's got to stand on one leg, and I don't know. It's
I
ridiculous.
just heard someone on NPR arguing against it because you'd go to work in the dark during the winter. You'd commute in the dark, and I always think.
Well, if you
Well,
live in
the sun-
Oregon,
Yeah,
If
it's
you
always
any
dark.
sun would be in your
Yeah.
face.
I know Oregon and Seattle, you go to work when it's dark and you come home when it's dark.
Yeah.
You only got like 8 hours of sunshine.
Well, and parts of New England are the same way,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, it's crazy. All right, so forget my texting. Welcome, 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 everybody. So you know what? It's gonna be 60-some degrees this week. I think Wednesday's a great day to get out and go door knocking.
Except for with Skills Lab.
With Skills Lab, that's right, but we can go after Skills Lab. So anyway, couple of, actually several, I got several things on my mind and I gotta just get my head put together. So first of all, how many of you would love to go on a listing consultation and sit and be a fly on the wall for one of the top teams in the Colorado? Okay, well, it's happening. So on Wednesday, 12:30 to 2:30 in Old Town, that is actually happening. So I encourage you all, I know some of you, especially Momentum Group, you don't come to Skills Lab because you don't need it, but you need this one, right? So I encourage you all to be there. I am super excited for this one and how it's being put together. By the way, another top team came to me and said, well, if they can do their listing consultation, can we do our buyer consultation? So guess what's coming in April? You get to be a fly on the wall at a live buyer consultation. Okay, everything you guys have been asking for. Okay, now Zoom has put some weird rules in place for us. You know how you used to be able to go and get a recording 6 months later? Not anymore. Our recordings are only good for 2 weeks. So we will try and download it to YouTube, but I would tell you, don't count on being able to watch the recording later. Make sense? Okay. Awesome. All right. Who else has got some good news? Christina, are you under tell us your story. What happened this week? Maybe she can't talk.
Okay, yes, I'm here. We are going to do the inspection today.
They had their hands up
And-
because they want to go to the listing consultation. Oh, wait,
Uh,
I know why you can't hear you, Christina, because I forgot to turn the sound bar on. Hold on.
Oh, please.
I need more remote controls in this office because then that will solve the problem. All right, Christina, go.
Okay, so we're doing inspection today.
Inspection on
and
what?
On a house that Jamie and Haley want to buy.
So you got a buyer under contract?
Yes,
Yay!
thank you.
Hold on. How fast are you closing?
We're closing Wednesday, so it was about 5 days.
5 days,
What?
5
All
business
cash?
days, all cash,
Hey.
Yes.
all cash. But we're very nervous, you know.
Yeah.
My nerves are more about the title company being ready to go. So
It's the title company.
I don't know. Are you kidding? I
Um,
looked at so many deals this weekend, I can't remember.
I'm just nervous about the amount of work that's already been presented. But he says that he wants to ask for concessions, most likely after inspection. So I
Wait a
don't know.
minute, when you're cash, you don't get concessions.
Okay.
When you get cash, you lower a price.
Okay, good, because that's what I was getting ready to ask you.
Okay, so great comment. So great learning opportunity, right? So when a buyer wants concessions, what do concessions go for?
Buy down.
Rate buy down,
Okay.
closing costs. Okay, if I'm paying cash, how much is my rate buy down?
Nothing.
0.
No way.
0, right? How big is my closing costs?
A hundred,
Not a whole lot,
$190 a side.
right? Maybe the cost of the inspection, right? But that's about it. So if you have a cash buyer, you're not asking for concessions. The only thing you can play with is price.
Okay, good. That's what I thought, but I just wanted to ask.
No, good. I'm glad you brought it up because that helps us keep things moving. I love it. All right, that's good news. Who else has got good news? Vanessa's writing offers. Sherry and Mara got offers they're countering. You guys are doing whatever you're doing.
Wash bar?
Nice.
So how did, like, what ended up happening?
Well, let's see, this agent showed it on Friday and we had 2 actually on Friday that said we were kind of in the running, like between our house and another one. The first one said, nope, they chose the other one, and then this one. So we did a price improvement, down to 115, and we got an offer for 1,050,000, and we countered verbally for 1,100,000, and she's writing up the new contract, so.
Great.
With all the corrections?
Yes, with all the corrections.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And what did you do last week after coaching?
What did I do last week after coaching? I don't know.
You get Spring Mesa under contract.
Yes, yeah.
So,
Super.
right, so talk about that, right? So a week ago, we were like, oh no, none of our listings are moving,
Yeah.
right? And now they're both, one's under contract and one's about to go under contract, right? And so the words of this market is patience when you're a listing agent. Okay, so, but I will tell you, it's time to kick up the heat on a lot of other things. So I want to hit some classes and then I want to talk about some things. So today, immediately after this, we got the Colorado Regional Rally. Brady Sandhall, is that how I pronounce it? Sandal is going to be here. He is he leads the luxury division at KWRI. He is empowerful. He is insightful. And even if you don't consider yourself a luxury agent, listening to him talk, you will learn something that you can apply to your business. Because it will tell you if you treat every client like they're luxury, you're going to have a luxury business. Okay. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Tomorrow, 9 to 11 is the growth and opportunity. Debbie posted on this. Oh my goodness, his name just went whoosh.
She said it. Is it Adrian or something?
Aaron.
Aaron.
He has just built an entire revenue stream around profit share. I will tell you, it is amazing by just telling people about what it's like to be here and in our experience. How many of you that have had closings, and several of you on this phone have had closings, right? How many of you had closings where you go, man, I wish the agent on the other side sure had the training I had.
This contract.
Right? How many of you, when you're working with other people, go, holy moly, am I lucky? Why don't you share that gift with others? Right? All of us know agents. A lot of you who are newer in the business, you guys just came out of real estate school. Where are your fellow classmates landing? And are they landing in a place like this? right? So great opportunity, if nothing else, to learn and understand it. Then on Friday, we talked about Skills Lab. Leading up to Skills Lab, there's an intro to the home inspection for some of you that haven't done a lot of transactions or don't necessarily understand some of the things that happen in a home inspection. Encourage that one. There is so much going on this week. It is crazy. On Thursday, we have Clancy's Happy Hour. Nowhere better to be over this time of year than at Clancy's. If you're interested, dual career coaching has really made a change. We've really kind of mixed that up a little bit. And even though y'all are here on a Monday, if there's something happening that we're talking about on Saturdays that you want to join, you are welcome to do so. This next week, oh, I guess I'm teaching. Saturday morning, I'm going to be talking about taking your listing to market and the listing checklist, right? How many of you are scared to death to get your first listing? Ha,
Kidding.
You're not scared of me.
right? And
I'm scared of this listing.
you mean the one that's the ranch that we really need to get under contract? Yeah.
Oh, no, that one, it'll come. It's patience. It's been 3 days.
It's the ranch.
I know.
It's the ranch that hits the market on Friday where the people are unreasonable about.
That
price
Taylor's
point.
gonna help me stage
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Wonderful. Anyway, if you want to learn how the steps on how to bring a property to market, let me know. And then the other big things that are coming up, we've got the St. Patrick's Day potluck on the 22nd. Oh, that's going to be yummy. I don't like corned beef and I love her Kathy's.
Kathy's is the best.
It is the best.
I'm
Okay.
bummed I'm gonna miss it.
So anyway, lots and lots of good things happening. Make sure you're getting registered and signed up for that stuff. I actually think I put some of that in our group. I made a post. Why does none of my technology want to work today?
What time does the Clancy's Irish pub thing start on Thursday?
I don't know.
4 p.m.
4? Thank you.
I think they open at 10 if you want to get there early.
Definitely get there early. I know what it was. Some things that I want you guys to put into your future. And I put the links in an email and stuff. But April 5th, they don't have a link yet, but it's Masterminds and the Color of Real Estate with Julia Lachey. I don't know if you have ever had the opportunity to hear Julia speak, but she is amazing. And she really has done a great job in our diversity and making us all aware that, you know, sometimes we have biases, we don't even know that are biases, right? And when I hear her talk, I think about the beach ball. Have you guys ever heard this analogy? So what color is a beach ball?
All sorts of colors.
All sorts of colors, right? So it can be red, white, blue, yellow, right? So if I'm holding the beach ball up this way and I see the red panel, what color is the beach ball to me?
Red.
Red. But if Jeff is holding it and he's holding the side that's yellow, what color is his beach ball? Yellow, right? So it all depends on our experiences and where we are in the world. And she does a fabulous job of really talking about all of those types of things. Everybody's suddenly looking for open houses again. I love it. I can maybe hook some up. April 9th, it's Aaron Kaufman. That's who's coming. April 13th, Gene Rivers is teaching a class called Agent Financials. Gene Rivers will talk about a whole lot more than agent financials, and he will make financials interesting. Gene is a certified master instructor for KWRI, and agent financials, he's going to make the money part of it make sense to you, right? As far as expenses and the business planning, and what I got to do all day yesterday, which was work on my taxes. All right, so great opportunity for that class. Then on April 27th, one of my favorite people is coming to town. Jeff Glover is going to be here. And since the region is promoting it, then I get to too. So Jeff is teaching New Market, New Plan, 17 Ways to Win this summer. Great opportunity. That link is in there as well. So just make sure that when those opportunities arise, you get a chance to go do those, right? Because getting to hear from people other than Margaret, Charles, Bria, and all of us, it's really a great thing to get to hear those different things. Okay.
What was that Profit Lab you posted or emailed about?
Yeah, so that is the other one, right? So Profit Camp is what it's called. And again, it's another class that's taught by master faculty through Keller Williams. And again, it's financial stuff. I've never taken agent financials, so I can't speak to that one. Profit Camp, what's the purpose of being in business?
To make money.
To have a profit. Right? And it was very interesting. I was having a conversation at the regional breakfast on Wednesday with a big mega agent, and I was bragging about a few people in our world. And the first word he says is, well, that's great. Volume's wonderful, but are they profitable? And I said, almost to a fault, because they're not reinvesting enough money into their businesses. Right. So Profit Camp, again, simplify it. Debbie DeWitt has sat in my business planning clinic every year that I've taught it. And she said it was the way they said it at Profit Camp that taking all of that, it flipped for her and she understood it. So again, a great opportunity to learn about how to run your businesses better. Okay. All right. You can put your hands down because I keep thinking that you want to say something and I know you probably don't. Oh, okay. Got that about signs. Okay. So last week, we went to the regional awards dinner, breakfast. It was for Colorado. So it was for every Keller Williams person in the state of Colorado. And there was awards for individuals, teams. A team is 2 licenses, groups, that's more than 2 licenses, and market centers. And first of all, just want y'all to know, I know Ryan Heckenberg put it on Facebook, but we were the #2 office in the state of Colorado for profit. Profit. Okay. We were beat by #1 by a very small margin with a market center that has over 350 agents.
Jeez.
So they're more than double our size and they beat us by a very small dollar amount on profit.
Oh.
The #3 office had over 500 agents. So you guys are in an office that is making headways. It wasn't 3 years ago. We weren't even in the top 7. We were just like down in the middle of the pack. Okay. And you guys are all making that happen. Right? With what you're doing with your businesses and the production that you guys are doing, we are moving this office. And I got to tell you, I told Charles, leaned across and I said, next year, #1. Okay. So if I start pushing a little harder, it's because I want to be #1. So just some interesting screenshots that I took. I don't care about that one. You guys don't care about that one. So the #1 agent, individual agent. How many of you are individual agents? Almost all of you. The #1 agent in the state of Colorado last year closed 133 transactions. Or no, I'm sorry, took 133 listings. So #1, so part of it is, okay, there's always a story, but here's the thing. Not all the rest of these people have that same story. #10 closed 52. So one person closed 52 units. That's a closing a week. Right? And #1 closed 111. Now, yes, #1 works with a developer, but guess what? When you work with a developer, you probably went a lot of years at 0 too. Right? But forget that. Forget #1. That's got an asterisk. #10 in the state of Colorado closed 52 transactions as a single person. Who would like to have their name on that number next year? Jeff does, Taylor does. Okay. So let's do it. Right? A closing a week starting now. Okay. The volume for the #10 individual was $765 million in volume. Okay. And I won't even tell you what #1 made, but #2 individual agent last year made $1,214,000 as an individual agent.
Volume or profit?
No, that was gross commission income.
Gross GCI.
GCI, one person, $1.2 million. Okay.
Oh.
I wouldn't cry about that either. Okay. So teams, these are groups of 2. I don't care about the listings. Okay. The number 10 team sold $26 million last year in volume. And the number 1 team closed $65 million. You were in the low 20s. You guys and Hackenbergs were on the bubble of making the top 10. Okay. That woman stood up. The number 10 team, so 2 people on a team, 40 closings last year. So I want you to just remember, what was the number 10 for an individual? How many did they close? 52. And the number 10 team closed 40. That's because a lot of them are husband and wife. The number 1 team sold 124 units and made $997 million. Interesting, isn't it? The team's GCI was less than that individual who was number 2 at 1.2. Then when we look at the big groups, the number 1 group closed 275 units.
Was that Empower?
Nope. It was your good buddy at Elite Home Partners in Cherry Creek who's changed the name of his business. Empower Home Team was number 3 in units, but number 1 in GCI at 4.1 million. What's interesting, and what does that tell you? If the number 1 in units wasn't number 1 in GCI, what does that tell you?
They're
They're discounting their commission. Sorry.
Or they have a big referral business where they're sending out a bunch. Okay. All right. Rookie of the year. Last year's rookie of the year made $218,000.
Wow.
Okay. So do you guys all believe you can hit your goals? Yeah. Right. I share those numbers with you guys because anything is possible. Everything is possible. Okay. What are your thoughts, questions? It's possible. This is going to be a tough day. I can feel it. You guys are all dying.
That's not. I don't, that is inspiring. It doesn't make me feel overwhelmed. It's kind of just amazing that people do that volume,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. A closing a week. Even if you're on a team, what would a closing a week look like to your team?
Be fun.
It would be fun. It absolutely would be fun. Now, for many of you, you're going, we're not set up to handle that. I'm not set up for handle that. Okay. And this is where, when you start building your businesses and you start building your systems, you start building your models, don't build them for today. Build them for 52 units a year. Build them for 2 units a week. What would it have to look like to accomplish that? What systems, what people, what things would you need to have in place? I will tell you this, those individuals that are closing 52 to 100 units alone by themselves have a great admin team. Right? They've got support. They're not doing it all themselves. Right? They're not doing the staging themselves. They're not doing the marketing materials themselves. They're not doing the Facebook ads themselves. They're not doing all of that. They've hired people. They've invested in people. Right? As you're going through your, and I will tell you this, they're heavy on listings. Because how many of you would rather have a listing than a buyer any day of the week? Why?
It's a guaranteed sale.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Exposure. I can get more business off of it.
Okay,
Set it up and let it go.
there it is. You set it up and let it go. Right? You take that listing, right? And you have a process for your listings. And by having that process of we do this on day 1, we do this on day 2, we do this on day 3, this is how we do this. Once you have it written down and dedicated that way, it becomes a robot. It becomes a machine. Okay. And if you do it right, your likelihood of selling is very high. The amount of time that it takes to invest in a listing is much less than a buyer. Stephanie, you've worked with both buyers and sellers?
I like both.
You like both. Which one takes more time?
Oh, I think it evens out, to be honest, but it's more dedicated time to the buyer. Right, going to homes, showing homes, and especially during those COVID years when we had buyers, you're showing 20, 30 homes.
Yeah,
Writing 10, 12 contracts before you get one, so that was definitely more time.
yeah. Typically, a buyer takes double the time as a listing. You have more upfront with the listing, but once you hit the market, it's pretty much, it just runs and guns, right? So how can you find listings? Where are we finding listings? What are we doing to finding listings? By the way, the rest of the month, it should be a national holiday. You know why?
It's my birthday.
It's March Madness. I wish I seem to ended up took February off, so I don't get to take March off. But I am going to figure out how to play the basketball games out here on Thursday and Friday. But what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you making enough contacts, connections? Are you putting yourself in front of enough opportunity? And then when you find a prospective opportunity, do you have the system in place to close the deal? Amanda and Nikki were sitting here and they posted it on Facebook yesterday. Oh my God, open houses are the place to be. Everybody that came in was an unrepresented buyer this week. Last summer, what did you guys tell me all the time?
Everybody came to represent.
I worked in open house and everybody had an agent. It was pretty much in that tone too.
Well, here's the thing, somebody who built their business starting with open houses, you have to keep going. You can't just work one and be like, yeah, I'm gonna get all the leads. No, I mean, we worked hundreds of open houses.
Yes.
And if you're not working open houses every weekend, every open house you can get your hands on, why are you not?
And if you're working open houses and when you leave the open house, you do nothing with the leads that you get, why are you wasting your time? Right?
Yep.
Because it's the money, the key is the follow-up, right? So how many of you are open house focused this year? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this then, okay? Do you have a very strongly written follow-up system that you know exactly what you do, or someone on your team knows exactly what to do the minute somebody walks out of the open house? Do you have a very strong follow-up plan, and are you implementing it at the highest level? And if the answer is no, then either A, stop working open houses and give them to somebody who will, or develop the system to make it work. And I would say, develop the system to make it work and let me help you do that. Okay, so Amanda,
Yes.
really quick.
Yeah.
I walk into your open house and I'm unrepresented and I leave.
Mhm.
Now what?
But did I get your contact information?
Oh, I gave you something. I probably gave you a phone number and an email.
Well, if you gave me a phone number and an email, I'm actually probably there texting, saying, hey, let me give you, I don't have any cards on me right now. Let me give you my phone number. Why don't you text me so I have your number? What are you guys looking for? I can go ahead and send you a list. We could go see some properties. I'm probably getting to know them, finding out what they want.
So that's at the open house.
That's at the
What happens when I walk out the door?
Well, I'm generally gonna call you or text you and tell you what a great thing it was to meet you.
Okay.
Making sure you have my contact information, and if we talked about seeing any other properties, I'm working to set that up.
Okay.
When do you want to talk again? How can I assist?
Awesome. Okay. So very direct, very strong sales, right? You can have in your phone, either in your notes or a shortcut that says OH1. Okay. And you can literally text them and basically that, thanks for stopping by my open house. This is my direct line. Okay. Now, if you had a situation as Amanda just described, where you can go, what time do we want to meet or when do we call? Go for it. Okay. Then what happens? Okay. So now you've picked up the signs, you've gone home. Jonas has got the margaritas already on the deck. Now what?
Well, usually I would send an email with, if say I got their contact information, I'd be sending them an email, maybe if it's a buyer. I'm sending them our home buying kit to make sure that they know about buying a house in Colorado. I'm sending them potentially a search. And again, I'm asking for setting up that next meeting,
Okay, so when you talk about that, what did you call it? The home buying what?
a home search. Oh,
No,
a home buying guide.
The home buying guide. So you're giving them your buyer's guide that I'm gonna guess came either out of Ignite or Bold as where you started with it. And you send that to them digitally. You don't hold it for a meeting. Okay.
Give them something of value.
Mhm.
How can I help you? What questions do you?
Yeah. So do you have a home buyer's guide that you can send out digitally? Or gee, what if you had one at the open house? Or if you've got their address, you could pop it in the mail to them. Right? Even if they didn't give you the address at the open house, what a great excuse to text them. Hey, I wanted to shoot over to you. I wanted to pop in the mail to you our guide to buying a home in Colorado. Can I get your mailing address? And then you show up at their front door with it.
I also like to respond like I did, especially this week, and you can't always read people's handwriting. Hey, I just wanted to confirm that I have the right number and this is your email address. Oh, you do have the right number. Actually, that's my, that's not the right email. Here, let me correct for you. Awesome, great. I'm gonna go ahead and send this to you.
Yep. Love it.
I try not to be too salesy. I am, forward and do follow up, but I really preface it under I want to be a resource to you. I mean, I jokingly say all the time, I'm a wealth of useless information. Please let me help you. And people are always like, it's great information. Well, awesome. Then let me help you with it.
And I hold it over her head too to get the right information, because often I see something like a bogus email or something,
Right.
like, oh, let me give you the right email.
Right, yeah. Oh, I actually want that.
You know, that you just can't read. Is it a 5? Is it an 8? Is it
Yeah.
a 3?
In this case, was it a C? Was it a
Yeah.
W? Like, we
Yeah.
couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Always.
But yeah, I mean, we picked up 2 basically almost $1 million plus buyers this weekend. And it was just because of having a conversation and being helpful.
Mhm. Okay, so then you send them the buyer's guide, then what happens?
Then phone call usually.
Phone call? Is that what
Phone
you're?
call or Zoom. We usually offer people, would you rather talk via phone or would you like to talk via Zoom? I usually push for Zoom if possible, if they're open to it, because it allows, I think, more of an opportunity to create a relationship because you can actually see one another.
Okay,
We actually just did that with some people last week, which reminds me, I forgot about getting them a referral partner in Mammoth. If anybody has a great agent in Mammoth.
California?
Yeah, California. Maybe I'll ask Brady.
yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so then usually a phone call and it goes over sort of what are you looking for again, and how can we help you? And do you have a lender? And can we give you a lender information? And what does it mean to be a buyer's agent and have representation? And so we go into that and explain all of that to them in our sort of our, what do you call it? Our value proposition of what we do for them and how we analyze the market and negotiate on their behalf. And then we'll usually offer to take people out once. After once, I need a signed listing agreement.
Agreed. I want a pre-approval letter before I'll take them out.
I want something that shows that I'm not wasting my time.
Mhm. Right? So do you have a follow-up system? Are you putting them on smart plans? Right?
Yeah.
That's the key, the absolute key. Now, many of you are probably going, well, I haven't been, and I got this stack of paper somewhere. Go call them. Just go call them. We met at an open house a couple of weeks ago. They don't need to know that it was 6 months ago. Just pick up the phone. It was just a couple of weeks ago. How many of you feel like 6 months ago was a couple of weeks ago? Me? Like, seriously, I was looking at my door again on my taxes yesterday and I was like, wow, that happened last May. That's been almost a year already. And it feels like yesterday, right? So they feel the same way we do. We're not weird. We're just like our client.
But
I know I'm weird. I'm crazy, right?
I
But
like being weird.
me too, right? And so pick them up and call them. Hey, we met at an open house. I know you were considering looking at going into the market. Look, this is what just happened today, and I'm calling everybody I know. Interest rates did what? They went down. How low did they go? They're under 6?
5.99.
Yeah,
5.99.
Okay, the fact that you can say interest rates are under 6,
Is great.
huge.
Yeah.
You guys, huge.
Mhm.
Okay, you get the right buy down now that they're paying a 4% rate again. Huge.
You talk about right by now, you can get into threes.
3
Yes.
and a quarter.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Wrote down.
So everybody that's complaining that rates are too high, they're under 6, and with the right rate buy down, we can get you down into the 3s.
And if you buy with the right lender, you can even refinance within 5 years for free.
Free,
Mhm.
yeah. Mitch.
Yeah, so a great time. Call those people of those open houses. You guys work those open houses. And I see some of you on here who you did not raise your hand, that open houses are my focus this year, but you've worked them. Right? Go back, follow up with them, reach back out to them, see if we can figure out who they are, what they are, and do they still have a real estate need? Because I will tell you right now, I see one word in our market. Anybody want to guess what it is?
Opportunity.
Opportunity, all caps, like Debbie writes, OPPORTUNITY. Right?
Probably pay star.
Exactly, right? Fireworks, right? Like, how many of you really want, I got a lead gen idea, you guys. Who's in with me? Let's rent a plane.
Okay.
Does anybody know a pilot?
Yes.
Sure.
And let's get a great big banner made. Real estate opportunity text. Should we do it?
Let's-
And we'll just have it fly all over the Denver metro area for a week. Anybody want to help me pay for it?
He's gonna get one of those new planes that's solar pack.
I know. I wish we could take a drone up, right? And it would pull a flag with a drone. It would be a lot cheaper, but I'm being silly and I'm being funny, but I'm also saying you guys got to spread the word like that. Right? Spread the word like that. So I know that this is a mixed group today between both groups of coaching. And so a couple of things I have noticed. So I just want to make sure that we all have done. If I go to your Facebook, what's your job?
Realtor.
Okay, some of you are not. So make sure your Facebook says that you're a realtor with Keller Williams Avenues Realty. And there's a way that you can link the Keller Williams Avenues Realty page to that job. Now, if you have a very strong business page, you could also do it to yourself, right? So mine says I'm a realtor at Margaret Gate Homes, and Margaret Gate Homes, Keller Williams, right? So it links to my business page. I don't know how to do it. That's a Stacy thing, but you can do that. So make sure Facebook knows you're a realtor. Second thing, what does your voicemail say?
I don't remember, actually.
I just redid mine.
Did you?
So does your voicemail talk? I cannot tell you, I've been calling agents like crazy in the last 2 weeks with some more to call yet today. And I cannot tell you how many of them I get this. The number you have reached, 303-555-5555 is not available.
Hmm.
The voicemail box has not been set up. Thank you. Click. Okay, you guys, if your voicemail doesn't say, hi, your name, I'm a realtor at Keller Williams, or your team name at Keller Williams, how does anybody know they got the right phone number? I know that sounded scary, didn't it? Right? So make sure that your voicemail is set up. Make sure when somebody gets to your voicemail, they know that it's you. And then the other thing that seems to be still a really popular thing is to let our kids be on the voicemail. Hi, this is Hannah. Mom's not available. Click. Okay. Right? Who is the agent that you want to call? Casey, if you were looking for a professional somebody, let's make it a financial advisor. And the financial advisor, when you called them, you got a little kid that sounded just like what I got. Are you going to leave a voicemail?
No, I am going to assume I got the wrong number.
Hold on. Okay, now you should be able to talk.
Sleep or something?
I am going to assume I got the wrong phone number and hang up.
Next.
I think I know, my sisters, when their kids were too old, they had to take the kid recording off. It was a very sad day.
Oh,
I do know
yeah.
that there's that kind of sentiment.
And I get it on a personal phone,
Mhm.
phone. I get that. I'm okay with it. But this is a business line. Right? And so if your business line is your kids or your grandkids, and I love kids, I have one. Right? Is that the image you want to portray? Is that the image of a professional that you would do business with? Right? Taylor, if you called that financial advisor or that insurance agent and they said, hi, 303-555-5555 is not available and the voicemail box is not set up, hang up, goodbye. What does that tell you about that person? You're on mute, but I got you. It's not good. Right? So just make sure. I mean, one of the things that I would be shocked if Brady doesn't talk about today is act like you're a luxury agent. Act like you're already there. Right? One of the things that we talk about and you hear people talk about in sports, and I will use the sport that I know, and I know that it will bore all of you, but there's this game and it has a ball and 10 pins. And if you knock them down in one shot, it's called a strike. And if you get 13 strikes, it's the only time the math doesn't work. 13 times 10 is 300. And I will tell you, when we are coaching bowlers at any level, we teach them, pretend that this next shot is number 12. Why would I do that?
Get him excited.
Nope. Because when you just shot the 11th strike in a row and one more gives you a perfect game, what do you think your knees are doing?
Shaking.
They're shaking. What do you think's happening to your hand and the ball? You're squeezing the ball. You know, we don't, ironically, we don't sweat. We squeeze the ball. We hold on to it just a little bit tighter, right? And all of a sudden, when your knees are knocking and you're holding that ball just a little bit tighter, what do you think happens when you throw it?
You choke.
You get a 6 count. I've actually seen people throw it in the gutter.
See, I've never gotten above like 120, so I wouldn't know.
But it's any sport, right? It's any sport, right? How many times do you think Michael Jordan or, okay, all these kids that are going to be on the TV, come on, Casey, it's a national holiday, it's starting, right? Those players, the guys and the gals, they're down by 2, they've got the ball. If they make the 3-pointer, they win the game. How many of them are practicing doing that to make it look so easy? Right? So you got to pretend that you were there. Same thing in our businesses. Pretend that you're a luxury agent selling $5 million properties every week. What would you expect someone who's doing that phone to look like, voicemail to look like, email signature to look like? Make sense? Thoughts, comments? Jeff just came back in the room. I think he left to go listen to his voicemail recording.
That was a real call, real client.
Awesome. I love that. Real calls and real clients. It doesn't get any better than that. It doesn't get any better than that. Okay, what else is on you guys' mind? The end of the first quarter. I know.
So confusing.
How many of you are on track to hit your goal? Okay, guess what? What's your gap? I know almost all of your goals. Guess what? There's still plenty of runway left. If you built a business that was started closing a deal a week, what if you just started doing a deal every 2 weeks? Would that solve your gap? Pretty quickly, right? Just like going, just give me one a month, right? Like for some of you, that's it, right? For some of you, even if you closed a deal a month from now through December, you would solve your problems. So Do you remember this form we filled out at the beginning of the year? It's called a GPS. Does everybody have one?
Yes.
If I said you got 2 seconds to find it, how many of you could? I was gonna say, I know some of you can.
On my desk.
2 seconds. Oh, 5, there you go.
There we go. Taylor's she's on her desktop. Great. Here's the thing. How often are you looking at it? Right? How often are you looking at it? A lot recently? And by looking at it a lot, what is that doing for you, Jeff? You're making some tweaks to it, and this is a good time to make those tweaks. So as an example, one of ours was that we were going to be part of the 72 sold program for the full year, and I was going to commit to it for a full year. It's an online, was supposed to be appointments. It has been a complete bust, in my opinion. I am not going to continue to spend $1,500 a month for it. I am taking it off of my GPS, and we're going to replace that $1,500 a month investment with something different. I don't know what it is yet. I've got a couple of ideas. So some of you guys that think you always get open houses,
Rent a plane.
you know what? If I could rent a plane, I would. I don't know that I can do it for $1,500 a month. But maybe the full 18,000 I could, and it'd be a one hit wonder, right? Are you looking at it, right? And the reasons we look at it, and most of you guys, I can't think of anyone who's got something like 72 sold, well, except maybe Casey, right? That was part of the GPS, and we're going to kill it out. Okay. I think most of you have GPSs that will stand the test of time. Okay. And so my question is, now is a really good time to pull out that GPS and ask yourself, am I doing it? Am I doing it? Some of you who coach with me on a very consistent basis, we have pulled them out. I've pulled them out of my file folder and sat them down in front of you and said, okay, your number one priority was X. Are you doing this? And guess what? If you're not, what does that mean? We just need to focus on it again, right? We just need to focus on it. We just need to get back in the game. Okay.
You pointed out to me about a month ago that I mean, just made it clear to me that the calls, I wasn't making the calls I needed to be making. And so I wasn't up for the challenge and said I'd do 15 a week, but that kicked my ass and I started calling people and started doing 40 or 50 or 60 a week, which, yeah, it gets you going. It becomes a habit. So it's really good to remind yourself.
Yes. Right. Because here's the thing. We write these forms. It's like anything. We have these glorious ideas. We have these big plans, but do we always implement them right away? No. So if we don't go back and look to say, what was our plan? How do we know that we didn't take a detour? Right? I love to use road trips as my example, but the GPS is nothing more than your roadmap to achieving the goals that you set out for 2023. And every single one of you has plenty of time to do it. Plenty. Okay. But look at the GPS. And here's the thing. There's another tool that I don't use a lot with you guys. It's the 411.
I thought you were going to say it was a bullwhip.
Nah, my dad didn't use those. My dad had this little tool. It was a shocker. When the pigs wouldn't go where they wanted to, he would hit them with it and would give them a little electric shock. I need to go get me one of those. I'm going to go get me a shocker. Sorry, I saw a client name pop up, but it was just compliance. But maybe you do need a shocker, but the 411, right? The 411 feeds off the GPS, right? The 411 says, in order to achieve these goals, this is what I need to do this month, and it breaks it down per week. So let me give you an example. We are doing a shred-a-thon the end of April. Okay. And we got some things to figure out between now and the end of April. We've hired the shred truck. By the way, it's run by a nonprofit organization. So if anybody wants to do shredding, I got a place. Okay. We know the location. We have permission from the building management company to have it out here. Okay. But we need food trucks. We need a tent. We need to figure out this. 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 Oh, by the way, we need to communicate. If I don't have a plan, I'm going to decide on April 29th, I should probably figure this stuff out. right? In my old corporate world, I called that a project plan. But do you have a GPS? So if you're building a shredding event or a neighborhood garage sale or something big that you're doing, that you're sponsoring, have you figured out how far in advance, what steps you need to do? So if I was doing a 411 this week, one of the things I'd be putting on it is we need to find the food trucks. By the way, if anybody knows a good coffee food truck or breakfast burrito food truck, please send me their information. Okay. But I got to start planning ahead. So the 411 helps you take that big goal, break it down into the monthly and the weekly. Then where does the 411 go? The stuff from the 411 goes off the 411 to where? Your daily calendar. Okay. When am I going to call the food trucks?
I would call them as soon as possible.
But that sounds really good, but I've got a whole lot of other things I got to get done this week too. So by putting it specifically on your calendar, Stacy's going to call the food trucks tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. It's just as an example, right? When are you going to prepare your open house flyers? When are you going to go door knocking for the open houses? When are you going to set the signs? When are you writing your handwritten notes? When are you creating the content for your social media campaigns? When are you going to upload the list from Land Title to send out the materials? And then you put that in your calendar. So some of you have had birthdays recently. Did anybody get a birthday card from Charles when it was your birthday recently? Anybody? Yes? He's magic, isn't he? He just all of a sudden just thinks of it, right? No, if I, by the way, I could do this. If I were to pull up Charles's calendar, there is a spot every day, every week. It's the same time. Do you know what it says?
Send cards.
Send out cards. And he has time blocked for 30 minutes in his calendar of when he's going to do send out
Is that before or after he polishes his tattoos?
cards. He doesn't polish
I
it.
think he does that while he's doing the send out cards.
So shiny.
When? Right? Do you have a calendar? Right? I'm looking at Sherry. She's got her planner wide open. She uses hers like crazy. She uses a paper planner. Mine's a digital camera.
I like.
Right?
paper.
Whatever works for you. Right? Some people have both. They put it on paper and they put it on digital. Just make sure that if you do that, you know when to manage which one where. Okay. So my goal, my request of all of you is this. If I do not have your GPS, and by the way, there's some of you I don't, and I will be hunting you down this week. Okay. I need your GPSs. Okay. And let's pull them out and let's look at them. Now's the time to adjust. If we wait till the end of summer, we're going to have a problem. Okay. Questions, thoughts, feedback.
Yes, yes, yes.
Just keep going.
Stephanie's becoming a cheerleader. I must have my pom-poms up today. Okay. Taylor, we talked about a lot of stuff today. What are you going to do?
I guess really just capitalizing on every single opportunity. I know I need to be better at lead generating more consistently and like, I guess, innovating my ways to lead generate. So that's something that I'm really going to focus on. And then also continuing with open houses.
Love it. Love it. And with lead generation, is it try it once and if it doesn't work, walk away?
No.
No, you have to get so comfortable with the boredom of whatever your method of lead generation is.
Yeah.
Right? If you're doing events, I can't imagine this getting boring, but I think it would get overwhelming. If you're an event person and you're hosting an event a month or an event every couple of weeks, you got to put in the time. You got to put in the effort, right? You got to do the consistency because the first time you do it, you won't be very good at it. Casey, what are you going to do? What's your action from today?
Well, I'm still working on follow up with people from the open house the other day.
Okay.
It's time for handwritten notes for me.
Love it.
Good.
Love it. I love handwritten notes. It's a great time of year, right? Going into spring, St. Patrick's Day. Like there's just so many things that you can have fun with this time of year. I know that some of us have been doing some things around our sphere in St. Patrick's Day. You guys dropped yours already, right?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of, no.
What'd you do? What'd you do?
Just the dollar lottery tickets.
Oh, that's
We sent
fun.
out 150 of them and one of my friends is like, I won $1,000. I'm like, really? And she's like, no, I won $1.
Yeah, right. It's just good fun, right? Other thing that people have done is they've gone and bought shamrocks, right? And they've delivered them to, their top 10 people, right? There's so many fun, inexpensive, or just go to the dollar store and buy some cheap cards.
McDonald's gift certificate for a Shamrock Shake, a lot of people.
Yeah.
get
Oh, I like that one.
Ooh, there is a Shamrock McFlurry. We had it last week.
So
Okay. Shamrock Shake, Shamrock McFlurries. Evidently Wendy's, did anybody here do this? Wendy's does something with the Frosties that you can buy a coupon or something and it's unlimited Frosties. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's it's for $2, you get a junior frosty tag and you get, with any order, you get a free junior frosty for the whole year.
Yeah, so people have used that and, gone to Wendy's and bought a bunch of those tags and mailed them out to people. Right? You don't have to spend big money and it doesn't have to go to thousands of people. Right? But if it goes into your core people. So with that, Serena, it has been a pleasure having you join us today. I hope you found it valuable. And if there's anything that I can do for you, be sure to reach out.
Absolutely. And likewise, thank you guys for allowing me to join.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to jump off because we got to get on the regional rally. So thanks, you guys. Call me if you need me. Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everybody.